Hola estudiantes, ¿qué día es hoy? Hoy es lunes. ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? Hoy es el 20 de abril. Wow, es el 20 de abril. Tenemos clase lunes, miércoles, viernes esta semana. La próxima semana, lunes, miércoles y viernes. Tenemos 2 semanas, nos quedan 6 clases más, 6 clases más. Y después el examen final. I will talk more about the examen final as we get a little closer, but we are actually turning the page, literally, to the very last chapter that we're going to be working on here for this unit. So we've got, for this semester, so we've got Lección 12 that's ahead of us. If you've already flipped to that chapter, to that page, you've seen that it has to do with la vivienda. It comes from the verb vivir, has to do with housing. We're going to be talking about housing, where you live, what kind of house you live in, and it's a very cultural discussion. So we'll talk about what that looks like in another culture, in a Spanish-speaking culture, to live, and what your housing arrangements look like. It's not similar to yours, most likely. So let's finish up today. We'll just have one more thing that I wanted to practice, which was that little mío, tuyo, suyo thing. There's two little cartoons that you see here, arriba a la izquierda. Does anybody know the Disney reference that I'm getting at on that one? Algún día todo esto será tuyo. Someday all this will be yours. Notice that tuyo that we talked about last class. Lion King reference, right? So Simba telling Mufasa telling Simba. Algún día todo esto será tuyo. And then, of course, abajo a la derecha, el payaso, the clown dude. ¿Cuál es el tuyo? He's asking him. Yeah, I think you guys get it. So, we are going to finish up today. Today, I'd like to start though with just a really quick practice of some of the preguntas that you have on the 3-column question thing that we haven't talked about before. So I'm going to have you hit the pause button, and I'd like you to cover up actually the answers on the right-hand column, and I want to see if you can come up with what those answers are going to be without looking at that. So some people like to fold it back, that works for some people, whatever you want to do, but cover it up with another piece of paper. Take about 5 minutes or so to ask yourself some of the questions, maybe 3 to 4 minutes, not a whole of 5. 3 or 4 minutes asking yourself some of the questions from all of the questions on Lección 11. Likely that you might see some of those on the examen final. Okay, so I want you to pause, and in just a second I will go on to the next slide. Okay, we read this story. In fact, this is one of the preterite imperfect stories that we used, El Padre Amoroso. We talked about that the wayward son, how he came back, cuando estaba lejos, el padre corrió hacia él, he ran to him, lo abrazó y lo besó. He took action, and we talked about how clearly, of course, that's what our Heavenly Father does for us as well. Now, as you go on further in the story, we finish the story talking about the other son, who was supposed to be the good kid, who's supposed to have done all the right stuff in his life, and he's pretty enojado, right? He is no está muy contento, no está feliz, and he is pretty adamant about not receiving his brother. And when I read this in Spanish, I noticed something, because we've been talking about we're talking about those words mío, tuyo, and you see them here that are highlighted. But it kind of brought out something to me that I hadn't really thought about before, so I'd like us to read a few of those verses. So the father has gone out, and he's like, oh, ven a casa, ven a casa, celebra con nosotros. And el hijo mayor dice, El hijo mayor, le contestó, he answered him, Fíjate, look, notice, fix yourself on this. ¿Cuántos años te he servido? How many years have I served you? Te he servido sin desobedecer jamás tus órdenes, without disobeying ever your orders, your commands. Y ni un cabrito me has dado, not even a little goat have you given me, me has dado, para celebrar una fiesta con mis amigos. Pero ahora llega ese hijo tuyo que ha despilfarrado tu fortuna con prostitutas, you know that word, y tú mandas matar en su honor el ternero más gordo. Okay, let's go back up. Versículo 30. But now, who is it that he tells him arrives? He's talking to his father, of course, right? And who is he telling him who has just arrived? That son of yours. Notice he could have said mi hermano, but he doesn't, because I don't think he wants to claim him. Like I said, at that point, it was commonplace. In fact, it was expected that a family and parents and an entire family would disown that child from their household forever, would never speak their name. He's not gotten over it yet. Clearly the father has. He's accepted him and he's embraced him. But now that kid can't even say that brother of mine. He says, that son of yours. Okay, you may have accepted him. I am not. Ese hijo tuyo that has pilfered away your fortune, that has wasted your fortune with prostitutes. And you command to kill in his honor the fattest calf. And then, what I love about this is the way that the father responds. El padre amoroso, right? That's his character. Tiene mucho amor. Hijo mío, le dijo su padre. Because I can imagine as a father too, he's probably had it with that son too, because he's throwing a fit, he's throwing a tantrum. But he still claims him as well. And it's not just mi hijo, right? He could have just said mi hijo. But to say that hijo mío, the whole point of those are to stress who it belongs to. You're my son. You are a son of mine. Hijo mío, le dijo su padre, tú siempre estás conmigo, y todo lo que tengo es tuyo. There's another one of those words. Everything I have is yours. He has given everything to that son as well. Pero teníamos que hacer fiesta. We had to have a party. We had to do this party. Y alegrarnos and rejoice and be glad. Porque, and look what the father does here. Porque este hermano tuyo estaba muerto, pero ahora ha vuelto a la vida. He's returned to life. Se había perdido. He had been lost. Pero ya lo hemos encontrado. We have found him. Look at that. Este hermano tuyo. This brother of yours. Do you see how he's restoring the relationship? He's reconciling the two sons that he has with one another by emphasizing, hey, he is always going to be your brother. Okay, and you guys have that link because you are in this family that's never going to be severed. So, este hermano tuyo, this brother of yours. He doesn't say my son was dead. He doesn't only claim him as his son. He says he requires that we become in relationship with one another. I know that we sometimes think that our faith is a singular kind of thing that we can do just with me and God. But there's so many places where in Scripture where there's a command, not only a command, but this invitation to love our brothers and sisters, and it doesn't matter what they have done and how they have hurt us, or how they have not responded in kind. But I love how the Father chooses to use those words by, again, reconciling, bringing back into relationship the two brothers with himself into this one family. So I just know it just stood out to me when I read through this that it was intentional wording. I believe that he was bringing that son in when the other son was not accepting his brother. So I just wanted to start with that. What I would have done next would have been to ask you guys to do a little activity where I had a shopping bag I was going to pass out and put you in groups, and I was going to have you put in something that was yours, okay, that belonged to you, like a calculadora or papeles or un zapato. Maybe I've had that before. Somebody took off their zapato, or llaves or whatever, something that's non-identifiable to you. And I was going to have then have you guys each put in a couple things and then go around the circle and pull out something and ask, una calculadora. ¿De quién es la calculadora? Whose might it be? And then point to somebody. You only get one guess. Es la tuya? So let's say that I point to Josh and say, es la tuya? Well, Josh is a guy. Doesn't matter, okay? Because la calculadora is a feminine thing. So notice my question is going to be, es la tuya? He says, no es la mía, right? No es la mía, or no es la calculadora mía. Puts it back in, and it goes around until somebody pulls out an item and gets it back to the rightful owner. Notice that if there were plural things, ¿de quién son los papeles? ¿Son los tuyos? ¿De quién es el zapato? ¿Es el tuyo? Masculine, okay? ¿De quién son las llaves? ¿Son las tuyas? Sí, son las mías. No son las mías. So keep in mind how those work. At this time, what I would have been doing is going around and stealing from everybody, or from a variety of people in the classroom. I would have been stealing something and taking away something of yours. Maybe it was a chaqueta, botella de agua, mochila, un libro, una taza de café. And I'd be like, ay, me encanta mi nueva taza de café. ¿A ustedes les gusta mi taza de café? Es la taza mía. Es la taza mía. Me gusta, me encanta la taza mía. At this point, hopefully I would have had somebody, the rightful owner, say, no, Profesora McDonald, no es la taza tuya. Es la taza mía. Oh, no es la taza mía? No, es la taza mía. Oh, okay. Give it back. Oh, I said the rest of the class. Es la suya. La suya. It is hers, or it is his, or whoever I gave it back to, right? So I'm really good at like acting and also at stealing people's stuff. So I've taken people's entire, I've taken their teléfono celular in the past, and nobody, how did she get that? I'm pretty good at that kind of thing. So I would have done that to practice those one more time. Since we're not together in class, I can't practice that with you. So spend a little extra time, maybe do an extra panorama activity with that, so that you get one more time around with that. But then, vamos a seguir en lección 12. So here we are, ready to go on to the next one. And I have a little story. I'm going to move my picture here to go up there so you don't. Okay. That has a variety of the vocab that you see on the top left box in las viviendas. Like I said at the beginning of the class, that word vivienda looks a lot like vivir, which means to live. And so as you peruse the vocab, you'll see lots of rooms in the house, and we'll get to the rooms today as well. You see muebles, which is furniture. You see electrodomésticos, which are appliances. You see things that you use to poner la mesa, to set the table. On the far right, you see lots of activities that you do to clean your home. You probably hear those in command form lately when your mom or your dad says to you, lava los platos, or pon la mesa, or quita la mesa, and you're hearing a lot of that. Arregla tu cuarto. You're hearing a lot of those things. So we will practice. We'll continue with commands a little bit. We will add to what we can do with commands, and that's all coming. But the top left box has words like las afueras right there, el alquiler, el ama de casa, el barrio, el edificio de apartamentos, el vecino, las viviendas or la vivienda, alquilar, the verb form of alquiler, alquilar, and then mudarse, mudarse. Now, don't look at that. We just looked at that now, but go ahead and don't look at it. I want you to focus your attention then on the very short little story, Una Historia de Ramón, that have all of those vocab words in there. And I want you to, within the context, see if you can determine what those are. You maybe just looked at the definitions here in a little while ago. That's great. But I'm going to read through it pretty slowly. Okay, and the context hopefully will help you determine what some of those new vocab words are. Okay, so Ramón vivía por muchos años en Iowa, pero el año pasado se mudó a Costa Rica. Tuvo un problema. No tuvo vivienda, no tuvo casa, no tuvo apartamento, no tuvo vivienda. Él quería comprar una casa en la playa, pero cuesta mucho dinero. Y los vecinos eran muy malas personas. Los vecinos eran muy malas personas. Hacían mucho ruido. Ramón no quería vivir en el centro de la ciudad. Él decidió buscar un apartamento en las afueras de San José y en un buen barrio con buenos vecinos. No podía comprar el apartamento. Tuvo que alquilar el apartamento. El alquiler fue 1,800 colones por mes. Colones es la moneda, es el dinero de Costa Rica. No es dólares en Costa Rica, son colones. El alquiler fue 1,800 colones por mes. Alquiló un apartamento en el tercer piso del edificio de apartamentos. A Ramón no le gusta limpiar su apartamento. Por eso, he employed or hired, a un ama de casa, porque su apartamento estaba muy sucio. Okay, before you go on, I would like you to press the pause button. I want you to reread that aloud. Say that aloud to yourself. Reread it. Practice pronunciation. See if you can come up with those vocab words. If you can't, if it didn't quite get there for you, that's okay. Then go ahead and take a look for it in that top left box. But I want you to see if the context will help you determine what that is before you go on. So hit the pause button right now. Before you do any more, see if you can come up with those definitions. Okay, so those words that you just saw came from that top left box that has the las viviendas there. It says repitan las palabras de vocabulario. What I'd like you to do is, again, hit the pause button, say them one more time, read through those, and start connecting the definition with those words. Hit the pause button right now and go ahead and do that. Okay, vamos a practicar con el vocabulario. Tengo una frase con dos opciones. Una opción es correcta, la otra opción es incorrecta, no tiene razón. No pagues la vivienda o el alquiler. No pagues el... Whoops. I'm going to get my highlighter out. Let's do this. No pagues el alquiler. Don't pay the rent, right? No pagues el alquiler. ¿Alquilaste el apartamento o te mudaste el apartamento en mi barrio? ¿Qué piensan? Alquilaste. Did you rent the apartment in my neighborhood, en mi barrio? Next one. Vivíamos en las afueras o vivíamos en el alquiler? Vivíamos en las afueras. We used to live in the suburbs, out there, in the outskirts. Afuera is outside of something, so en las afueras, you're outside of the city. Es una pregunta. ¿En qué barrio o vecino vives? ¿En qué barrio vives o en qué vecino vives? ¿En qué barrio vives? In what neighborhood do you live? Barrios in Latin American cultures, yeah, I'm thinking of Spain. When I was in Spain, when I went to Madrid, each one of those, or Sevilla, every city has its own name of a barrio, and most people identify with where those are throughout the city. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like Minneapolis, Chicago. You know, like you've got your, my sister lives in Minneapolis, and so she lives in Plymouth, but then there's Wayzata, and there's Minnetonka. There's lots of different, there's Eagan and Bloomington. So same idea, los barrios. Next one, por fin. That's one of those por phrases, right? Por fin. Yo tengo blank por el verano, vivienda o alquilar. Por fin, yo tengo vivienda. Finally, I have housing por el verano. Notice por el verano, by the way. Por has to do with the duration of time throughout the summer, for the summer. Next one. Ellos alquilaron o se mudaron a España el año pasado. Ellos se mudaron a España el año pasado. They moved residence. There's another verb to move when I just move my arms and legs and that type of deal. That's not the same. This is moving your residence. Se mudaron. Next one. El garaje de mi barrio o vecino es grandísimo. Es grandísimo. El garaje de mi vecino es grandísimo. My neighbor. Look at the word vecino. It looks like the word vicinity, right? If you have someone that lives in the same vicinity, it's your neighbor. It's, of course, your neighbor. So, mi vecino. Nos encontramos en el ama de casa o nos encontramos en el edificio de apartamentos. Nos encontramos en el edificio de apartamentos. Hey, Cal. Hey, Cal. Look at my doggy. There's Callie. Hey, babe. I'm not done. Espérame. Espérame, por favor. Okay, next one. Mi tía es ama de casa o mi tía es mudarse. Mi tía es ama de casa, ¿sí? Mi tía es ama de casa. She is a housekeeper. Notice what that phrase is. A lover of the house, right? She loves the house. So, ama de casa. Okay, so those words we're going to keep working on. I would like you to add to this, because one of the things you're going to have to do for your tarea for the next class is to come up with a little layout drawing. Doesn't have to be to architectural scale and to that extreme, but I want a good picture of what your casa looks like with all of the different cuartos. So you're going to label them. You're going to label the cuarto just as it is. You don't need to draw in furniture. That's going to come later, actually. But right now, I just want you to kind of look from above, draw squares and rectangles and that kind of thing, and sort of in the arrangement that your casa is in. If you have a couple different pisos, if you have different levels of your home, different floors, maybe two different layouts that you can show us in the basement or in the second floor or whatever. So maybe label it, we're going to learn the word for mi dormitorio, my bedroom, el dormitorio de mis padres, or el dormitorio de mi hermano, or whoever. So just label those things as you can, okay, with what are the words that we're going to learn. So let's learn the house words here. It's right below the box we just talked about. So I'm going to do that by giving you a picture of each one of those things. So repitan conmigo, por favor. el altillo. Repitan. El altillo. El altillo es la parte alta de la casa. Right? You see the word alto, alta in there. So, altillo, el altillo. En mi casa no hay. No hay altillo. Esto es el balcón. Repitan el balcón. En mi casa no hay balcón tampoco. No hay altillo. No hay balcón. En sus casas posiblemente ustedes tienen balcones y altillos. Esto es el baño. Repitan el baño. Es un cuarto importante, ¿no? We've already learned that actually in the very first chapter that we learned el cuarto de baño or just el baño also. You're going to learn pretty soon though too that a lot of the names of these rooms have to do, the word for that has to do with the action that you do in there. So we already know bañarse, right? So yo me baño en el baño. So those words have really close relatives to the things that you do in those words. Okay, next one. Esta es la cocina. Repitan la cocina. La cocina es donde yo cocino. Okay, the verb cocinar. If you look in the far right box, you're going to see the verb cocinar. It has to do with cooking. Makes sense, right? That it takes place in la cocina. La cocina. So far we have, I'm going to switch my highlighter to a laser pointer. So, este es, ¿qué es? Es el altillo. ¿Qué es? Es la cocina. ¿Qué es? Es el balcón. ¿Y qué es? Es el baño. Okay, otro. Este es el comedor. The dining room where you comer. Do you hear it? Comedor, comedor. So repitan el comedor. Este es el comedor con una mesa y 4 sillas. Este es el comedor, comedor. Y uno más. Este es el dormitorio. Repitan. Kind of a false cognate. It looks like the word dormitory, which is like Fern and Coley and Hospers and all of those things. But dormitorio is where you do the action of dormir, right? So dormir, dormitorio. There's actually a couple words for bedroom. You're going to see on some real estate listings that I'm going to show you in another class that there's a couple other words for that as well. Panorama is going to want you to use the word dormitorio, or notice it's in parentheses right below la alcoba. It's another way you can refer to that too. It's kind of a geographic word where you are in what country, who uses what. So la alcoba o el dormitorio. So, este cuarto, ¿qué es? El dormitorio, ¿qué cuarto es? Es el baño. ¿Qué cuarto es? Es el comedor. El comedor. ¿Qué cuarto es? Okay, ¿qué es? It's not really a cuarto. Es el balcón. ¿Qué es aquí? Es el altillo. Altillo. ¿Y qué cuarto es? Es la cocina. Ok, presten atención porque un cuarto va a desaparecer. ¿Qué nos falta? Nos falta el comedor, ¿sí? El comedor. ¿Qué nos falta? Nos falta el baño. Nos falta el baño. ¿Y qué nos falta? Nos falta el altillo. El altillo. Ok, vamos a seguir. Más cuartos. Okay. This is kind of cultural here. It has to do with more of a home that you might find in a Latin American culture. It has to do with la entrada, where you enter the home, the entrance area. So what does it say in your vocab sheet? Yeah, it just says entrance. So, la entrada, repitan la entrada. I remember my house when I was studying abroad in Mexico. We would have this entrada here. You go through this gate, and then there was an ama de casa, or kind of like a guard, who would stay there and let people in and let people out. This remained locked. You could kind of come into the property without actually entering into la casa. There was just sort of this like area right here. So sometimes that is a part of a home in a Latin American culture as well. We'll see some things in Spain that look similar to that too. So la entrada, repitan. La entrada. Next one. Not really a room, but those things that go up. La escalera, repitan. Okay, it looks like the word escalator, right? So escalera, escalera. You escalate, you go up, and you climb. La escalera. Next one. Es el garaje. Repitan el garaje. Es un garaje para dos carros, dos coches. You'll notice no door. They might look a little different. Probably don't have storage in them. It's more of a covering over your car to keep the sun from being so strong on it. Again, most Latin American cultures, a lot of Latin American cultures are in the equator region, right? So they're going to need protection from the sun more than like from snow or rain and that type of thing. So el garaje, el garaje. Next one. What's my word for this one? This is el jardín, the yard area. El jardín, repitan el jardín. Kind of looks like the word garden, right? El jardín. And then we have la oficina, repitan. La oficina, la oficina. Okay, ¿qué cuarto es? Es la oficina. ¿Qué cuarto es? Es el garaje. ¿Qué cuarto es? Es la entrada. Remember I talked about the word that you, like dormir, dormitorio, comer, comedor. You entrar por la entrada, right? So entrar has to do with entering. ¿Qué es esto? Es la escalera, escalera. ¿Y qué es esto? Es el jardín, el jardín. Okay, vamos a hacer... ¿qué nos falta? Nos falta el jardín. ¿Qué nos falta? Nos falta la escalera, la escalera. Ok, vamos a seguir. Este es el pasillo. You pasar, you pass through the hallway. El pasillo, repitan. It's got the ending, the double L, makes the y sound, so el pasillo, el pasillo. Otro. Es el patio, same word as in English, it's just pronounced a little bit different. El patio, repitan. Patio, el pasillo, el patio. El pasillo, el patio. Okay, este cuarto es la sala. Repitan la sala. Remember back to lección 10, I believe, we learned la sala de emergencias, the emergency room. It's any room. A sala is any room, kind of a big room. So sometimes you'll hear somebody talk about this as la sala de familia, or la sala de estar. I've heard that before. The room of just being, okay? The room where you just are, right? So it's where most people hang out, in addition to la cocina. So, esta es la sala, el pasillo, el patio. And then we've got a room that it's kind of surprising to me. It's on this vocab because most Latin American homes don't have one of these. That basement level area just don't have them. There's no reason for them. There's no tornadoes. We have them in the Midwest because you have to. But in a lot of other places, actually, in los Estados Unidos, no existen los sótanos. But notice the stress is on the first syllable, so I'm going to say it. You say it. El sótano, repitan. Es un sótano. Es una escalera hasta el sótano. Sótano. Sótano, el patio, el pasillo y la sala. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué cuarto es? Es el sótano. ¿Qué cuarto o qué es esto? Es el pasillo. ¿Qué es esto? Esta es la sala. ¿Y qué es esto? Este es el patio. El patio. Ok. Presten atención. ¿Qué nos falta? Nos falta la sala, ¿sí? Nos falta la sala. ¿Y qué nos falta? El sótano. Nos falta el sótano. Okay. Okay. For the last kind of thing, what I was going to have you do is with your compañeros, I was going to have you hablar con sus compañeros. Comparen sus casas. I don't have questions for you. I just wanted you to kind of talk about the rooms that you have in your home, si son grandes o pequeñas, that type of thing. So where they might be. So en mi casa hay 2 pisos. Tenemos el primer piso y el sótano. Pero en mi casa no hay altillo. I kind of said that to you guys a little bit already. So no hay altillo. En mi casa el comedor está cerca de la cocina. Está muy cerca de la cocina. It's really close to. Maybe what you do in a room. Miramos la televisión en la sala. O yo hablo con mi familia en la cocina. O en el comedor or somewhere like that. So, no hay televisor en mi dormitorio. Maybe you would say, hay un televisor en mi dormitorio. So, just coming up with some ideas of things that you guys can talk about. Mi dormitorio está en el segundo piso, the second floor. Maybe mi dormitorio está en el sótano. En mi casa hay 3 dormitorios y 2 baños, or whatever the case may be. Since we do have a little bit of time left, and that was the only thing that was remaining for us to do today, I do want you just to think through that idea with some of those room words, or they're not all rooms necessarily. Things like garaje and pasillo and jardín. Maybe talk about what you do in some of those areas that are associated with your home. So, in addition to some panorama stuff, I do want you to draw out some sort of plan de casa, and label the things with the Spanish words, obviously, so that you practice those words between now and the next class. Okay, eso es todo para hoy. Gracias por su atención y hasta luego.